you all right?
My mom's in there. Please, somebody help her. The scream tore through the quiet street like lightning splitting the sky. A young boy, barefoot, his face streaked with tears and smoke, clutched his chest as he cried out. Neighbors froze, whispering, but no one moved. And then a millionaire, a man of power, pride, and walls built high around his life, stepped forward. He forced the door open, and what he found inside didn't just shock him. It froze his heart forever. The neighborhood was built on wealth. Gleaming mansions lined the street. Iron gates stood tall, and silence was a prized luxury. Jonathan Price was its symbol, a millionaire who had clawed his way from nothing into everything. His cars shone brighter than the street lamps, his suit sharper than knives, his presence commanding, but he was also distant. To the neighbors, Jonathan was the man on the hill, untouchable and cold. His life was numbers, deals, and power. Not people died until that night. The air was heavy with smoke before anyone saw the flames. Then, like a beast set free, fire exploded through the windows of a modest house tucked between the mansions. Alarms shrieked, glass shattered, and black. Smoke climbed into the night sky. Neighbors stood at a distance, whispering. Phones were raised to call the fire department, but no one stepped forward. And then came the scream. My mom's in there. A boy no older than 9 stumbled into the street. His hair was messy, his pajamas singed with ash, and his small hands trembled as he pointed toward the burning home. His cries sliced through the air, raw and desperate. He begged strangers, pleaded with shadows, but fear held him frozen. Jonathan, stepping out from his mansion across the street, saw it all. For a moment, he hesitated. A man like him didn't run into burning homes. That was for firefighters, for heroes, for anyone but him. But then his eyes met the boy's, wide, desperate, filled with a terror no child should carry. Something cracked inside him. He ran. The heat was immediate, suffocating. Flames clawed at the door. Smoke poured like a monster's breath. Jonathan ripped off his jacket, wrapped it around his arm, and slammed his shoulder against the door until it gave way. Inside was chaos. The air was thick, every breath burning. Walls creaked, furniture cracked. Jonathan stumbled through, eyes squinting, until he heard it. A faint cough, a whisper of life in the smoke. He dropped to his knees, crawling forward. There, on the floor, lay a woman. Her face was pale, her chest rising weakly. Without thinking, Jonathan pulled her up, dragging her toward the door. His lungs screamed, his skin stung, his mind begged him to stop, but he pushed forward, step by step. Memory of the boy's scream driving him through the inferno. At last, he stumbled out into the night, collapsing with the woman in his arms. Gasps erupted from the crowd. The boy's cry changed to a sob of relief as he rushed forward. "Mom!" he screamed, clutching her hand. Paramedics surged in, lifting her onto a stretcher, pumping oxygen into her lungs. Neighbors whispered Jonathan's name in disbelief. He, the cold millionaire, had run into fire, but what froze him wasn't the fire. It was recognition. As paramedics worked, Jonathan looked closer at the woman's face. Memory struck like a blade. She wasn't a stranger. She was Maria, his former housekeeper. Years earlier, Maria had worked in his mansion. She was quiet, kind, always carrying her son on her hip after long shifts. Jonathan remembered her laughter in the kitchen, her humming as she cleaned. But when profits dipped and he cut staff, Maria had been the first to go. He had given her nothing but a severance check and a cold thank you. Now here she was. The woman who once cared for his home, nearly lost in flames while her son begged strangers for help. Jonathan staggered, shame heavier than smoke. He had forgotten her. He had forgotten them both. The ambulance roared away, carrying Maria and her son. Jonathan stood in the street, chest heaving, mind spinning. He had wealth, power, everything money could buy. Yet in that moment, he had nothing compared to the boy's desperate cry, and the truth it revealed about his own emptiness. In the days that followed, Jonathan changed. He didn't just send flowers or money. He visited Maria in the hospital, covering her bills without question. He sat with her son, helping him with homework, listening to his stories, laughing at his jokes. Slowly, a bond formed, not one of employer and servant, but of family. When Maria was discharged, Jonathan handed her the keys to a new home, safe, warm, debt-free. She wept, but he stopped her. "Don't thank me. You already gave me more than I gave you." Neighbors whispered again, but this time in awe. The man once untouchable had stepped down from his hill. The millionaire who lived for himself now lived for others, and in the quiet of his mansion one night, Jonathan looked at the photo he had saved from the fire, Maria's boy hugging his mother, alive and safe. He realized something wealth could never teach him. True fortune isn't how you build for yourself. It's the lives you save, the hearts you hold, and the cries you answer. That night, a millionaire discovered that flames can destroy homes, but they can also melt walls around the heart. He learned that sometimes the greatest riches come not from wealth or status, but from stepping into danger for someone else's life. What about you? Would you have run into that burning house? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more cinematic stories of hidden heroes and second chances.